That it is funny as all get out.
It worked this time.
Yeah. Well, no, actually, it's still trying to catch up. There's such a delay, but it actually did work. It shut off for a change. So, good evening and welcome to Let's Talk Shop with Russ. It's still counting down over there on YouTube. So, there's a little bit of a delay there, but it came right up on Twitch just as soon as. It's funny that YouTube's so much slower than Twitch. But welcome. Glad to have y'all all here tonight. This is our 8th season, 8 years of doing this. So I appreciate a lot of people being out there still. James Parker's out there, Rick St. Louis, Dan Inge. Dan called me the other day and we were talking, and he's had his 4th heart attack, and he's had to have 4 stents put in.
So, did you see what he said a second ago?
No, I'm reading what he said right now.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah. He said after that he's had the stents put in, that he could tell a difference, that he was breathing better.
On Turkey Day, he was taken by ambulance to the hospital.
Yeah, to the hospital, yes.
And in 2 weeks he'd been treated for a blood infection or a lung infection.
I've heard of good stunts to get away from the family, but that's going over the top.
But anyway, I'm glad to see you out there, Dan. Brooks Martin's here, James Parker.
Wow.
Chris Nealon's here. Yeah.
JJE's out there.
All the usual suspects.
Hey, Donna is too.
Oh, yeah, Donna Presley's out there.
I'm there.
So Aussie Man's out there. Good to see you out there, Aussie Man. That guy Dixon Hoffman, I don't know why he keeps coming back, but he keeps coming back.
Yeah, man, you should see his. Never mind. I'm not going to say what I was going to say.
So anyway, I'm glad all y'all are out there, and I appreciate you being out there. Tonight's show we're going to talk about joinery. Matter of fact, I forgot to bring the box in that I wanted to that I'd made, and I'll get it in just a few minutes while y'all are introducing yourselves. I'll let you do it on your own. So if you want to do that. So yes, I'm kind of stumbling because my thought process is off tonight for some reason. My sponsors are Devobal Technologies for web design, development, and hosting. Visit devobal.com. FastCap, innovative products for professional woodworker. Go to fastcap.com. Rockler, 60 years in woodworking. Create with confidence. Visit rockler.com. Bearwood Supply Company, your best choice for hard-to-find woodworking supplies. Go to bearwood.com. Klingspor, the sanding specialist, woodworkingshop.com, and Seiko, the scroll saw specialist, seiko.com. So I will put, since he's the first person on my screen, Mr. Al Forte. Al, once you introduce yourself, then you start calling out people to introduce themselves.
Ooh, okay.
And I'll go get what I wanted to show off.
All right. I'm Al Forte, Odessa Woodworking and Maker Shop. I stream also on Twitch, Kilroy79763. In fact, you can find me Kilroy79763 all over the place. Mr. Bashir's to my
Left.
Right. To my right. No, left. Yeah, that's it. There you go.
And
Jim.
he's a college professor. Jeez.
Yeah, the only one in the bunch too.
I can walk.
Jim Bashir's Driveway Workshop, live from the living room tonight. My wife's out with her sister at a concert, so excuse the mess. You can really see much of a mess. Yeah.
Looks
Anyway.
like my shop.
Looks like your shop. Yeah. If it looked like my shop, my wife would be gone with some other guy someplace, I think.
Oh, no. Just joking.
And off to Donna.
Donna's Wooden Art, Donna's Embroidery Plus. You can find me on Facebook, sometimes YouTube. Other than that, I'm just home. Chris.
That guy and Chris here at the Old Cranky Workshop. Find me on YouTube and Facebook. And your local tiki bar down here on the beach. So I will relinquish the rest of my time to the gentleman to my left.
Thanks, Chris. Paul Corliss, Paul's Messy Workshop. You can find me on YouTube, Instagram, and when it's not football season, you can catch me on Sundays over watching Al's stream on Twitch. But since it's football season, it kind of messes things up. And now it's Donald's turn.
I'm Donald Matthews from Donald Law Supplies and Wood Shop on YouTube. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. I've got a website, redneckknowhow.com, and now off to Dixon.
Hello, everybody. Glad to be here. I'm Dixon Hoffman. You can find me at Hoffman Signs and Decals.
As always,
And Al, I'm disappointed in you. I seen some jumper clips that you're supposed to use for electrical, and you were using them for painting your car parts.
Hey, it's what I had.
Hey, I actually watched Al last week. I was on.
Yeah, we tried to figure out what color to paint the frame, and thanks Russ.
Yeah.
He helped me pick it out.
Yeah.
It's a silver metallic, silver metallic, I guess. But it's dark. We'll see.
We'll see.
Can always be repainted, right?
Don't forget to subscribe. I forgot to tell you all that before. If you don't subscribe, at least give me a thumbs up. And if you'll hit the little bell in the corner, it'll remind you anytime. Yep, there's the bell. Anytime I have a live show or I post a video, which I ain't posted a video in.
And remember, use the thumb, not the other.
Yeah.
Hey, I found my list.
Yeah. So, yeah, I was thinking about talking about joinery. I'll just start off. I've done dovetails. I've done bunches of different types of joinery over the years. But, I've always came back to the very most simple and easiest of all of them, and that's the box joint. That's the one I like the most. It's just so simple to do. You don't have to have a lot of machinery to do it. You can do it on your table saw. You can do it with a router bit. I mean, you have several different options, but I've always come back to the box joint. And the one I wanted to show is, I've made a lot of boxes. This one I decided to keep, but was this one with the box joints. And I didn't plan on it, but for some reason, all the end grain did. A lot of times it don't turn dark like that, but on this one it turned dark.
Yeah.
And this is like a light oak. Now this is just regular old. It's the nicer pine. It's the clear pine that you pay the more money for. It's not just the regular old pine boards. So, but most of the time the end grains don't turn that dark on this particular one. And like I said, this is light oak on it. So. I did the CNC of the roses and the different ornaments and stuff on it, but I don't know. They just box joints to me just work so much better. They're easy to make. Dovetails. I know Donald is a dovetail man, and he cuts his by hand most of the time. And
put yourself on full screen so they can see that better.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't think about that. I'm glad you reminded me.
I'm here for something. There we go.
There, now we can see.
There we go.
Hmm.
So yeah,
I like the way those look.
yeah. I like them. Now I bought a special jig to. I was cutting my box joints with just a dado set, and I made my hand jig. But I bought that special jig to cut these things. And it makes it so much easier. Now I planned out the thickness of the box so that I could cut it on that joint right there, which turned out pretty nice. I like that. And then, like I said, I just decorated it with some on the CNC. That's very thin I went down like 3/16 of an inch
Nice.
on with a V-bit. The front rows and the back rows are actually the same.
Nice.
But I made it as a solid box, and then I have that very, very thin, expensive saw bit that I only use for special stuff, and I just cut the lid off to make sure that the lid will line up on its own.
So you ran that over the table saw to cut the top off.
Yes, I made it as a solid box and just stuck it on the table saw and just ran it through, and then flipped it over and ran it through, and
That works.
cut the lid off.
I've come to find out that's the easiest way to make it match up.
Right.
Yeah. Yes. If you try to make it match up any other way, it's just a pain. And then I added the little chain to keep the lid from going all the way back.
Yeah.
A little detail. This is one of the few boxes that I have made that I actually kept. Most of the boxes I make, my kids or other people decide they want them, and they end up going down the road. So
Yeah, you can make them one for a charge.
You make a nice jewelry
Yeah.
box.
I've made some jewelry boxes.
Mhm.
I've made several, things over the years. But and I like dovetails. Don't get me wrong. I would like to say one thing about dovetails. Harbor Freight makes a dovetail jig for your router. Okay, and it's a little pain to set up, but if you got a reputation, for instance, if I was making this box and all the four sides are the same size, for instance, once you get it set up and you do your test and you make your first one, it is like one of the most fantastic things. You just flip your board around, lock it down, and use your router and make the dovetails, and then put the next board in, make your dovetails. So it works great. The problem that I found with it, if you're doing like a box that has where you would say, or something that has different dimensions, it's a little pain in the butt to get it set up.
Yeah.
But I even heard from people that own the Harbor Freight is basically the same one they sell at Rockler and a couple of the other places. I've seen them. I've got somebody that I know that owns the Rockler one, and I'll put the Harbor Freight next to it, and they're identical. You can't tell hardly the difference between them. So they're made out of China. I can tell you that right now.
Yeah. Wow.
And they all come over here.
What
but if you're doing repetition work, it's fantastic, because once you get it set up, you can just turn them out just as fast as you can go. But other than that, I'm just a box joint kind of guy. So Donald, I know you, and the reason I'm going to Donald is because I know he does his dovetails and all cuts by hand.
By hand.
Yeah.
By hand, even. Yeah. He doesn't even use a jig or a.
The main reason I go
machine.
with the dovetails is because I got hooked in trying to learn how to do them, and I kind of got addicted to them. And plus, any of them I do is going to be done by hand right now until I get jig made up for the shopsmith or whatever to do the box joints with. And doing it by hand is just as easy to do the dovetails as it is the box joint. So
Yeah.
That's the reason I go.
Yeah, if you're doing it by hand, yes, then I totally agree with you. It's if you're going to cut a box joint, you might as well by hand. You might as well do a dovetail.
The dovetail was actually originated. It's people use it for decoration now because it looks cool and all that, and it kind of shows off your abilities and all that. But originally, the dovetail is a joint made for drawers.
Right.
And you put your dovetails on the end,
pull out, right?
And that way it doesn't come apart so easy.
Yes.
From the stress of the pull.
Right.
That's his main function.
Yep. Right. Yeah, you make all four corners that way. When you constantly are pulling on that front on the dovetails will hold that front on better, or supposedly better.
I'm sure a lot of us anyway, have got old hand-me-down furniture where the drawers were made with box joints and the back end of it's falling off of it, off of one of the drawers.
But you know,
some
of that has to do with the older glues too.
Yeah.
Because the glues they make, like Type Bond right now, I don't care if it's a box joint or a dovetail, it's going to it's gonna break the wood before it'll break the glue.
Yep.
With the glue they make now, you can do a butt joint and it won't make a difference.
Yeah. But yeah, and the sad thing about the dovetails back in the day when they made them, they were all covered up by the face of the drawer. You didn't see the dovetail work until
they
you.
put them to the point where the dovetail itself was behind the front plate.
Originally, they were considered ugly. I mean,
Yeah.
The only people that admired them were anybody that knew anything about joinery, because you had to do it by hand, and if you got a good, nice, tight, no gap dovetail, we enjoyed it, admired the heck out of it, but people normally thought it was ugly to be visible.
Right.
Until the modern world come along and we started using it for decoration on boxes and stuff.
And then you could charge more for the project then too.
Amen.
I couldn't judge anybody because I don't do a lot of woodworking, so the only box joining I use is called glue and drywall screws.
Yeah, I've done that a few times.
I got my glue too.
Don't lie, you got a Craig jig out here.
Oh yeah, I get the Craig. I break that out every now and then too. So.
Have you guys ever seen the videos that Matthias Wandel and John Hayes did when they built a couple of box joint jigs? One of them, the one Matthias did, is like super over engineered because it's got a big crank on it and gears, and he swaps the gears out in it to make them different widths. But the one John Hayes made, he just has like a little thumb thing on it, and you just bump it. And I think that one's pretty cool. I might try to build that one of these days.
Cool.
Wow.
You go on YouTube and you see Chinese guys, they got all these puzzle type joints, and it's crazy
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
how they make these puzzle joints.
I wouldn't
Well,
even think about
the jig they have, if you'll search through YouTube box joint jigs, they have some if you're going to be repetitive, like let's say you're going to make all your box joints, which I think that's 1/2 inch on that box. If you're going to make all your box joints the box 1/2 inch, you can make a jig really, really, really easy to make, but the thing about it is you can't change it. If you want to change it, you have to make a separate jig for the 3/4 or separate jig for whatever.
Right.
But if you want to make 1/2 inch box joints, there's a couple, 2 or 3 videos that I watched, and I was actually sitting there going like, what the heck? Why didn't I think of that like 10, 15 years ago?
Which that's another reason why I haven't made one, because all my boxes are different sizes. They end up being different sizes. So.
Yeah. No, I admire the fact that I don't have the patience to sit there and cut a box or a dovetail by hand.
My favorite box joint jig is out in the garage. So it does these box joints. That's about all I have patience for. Yeah.
Well,
right before you announced what the topic was going to be, I just handed out a gift box to somebody, and it was box joint.
What?
I had to get it done fast. I didn't take any pictures. I just made it and shipped it. So I wish I had saved it, at least taken some pictures of it, but didn't do that. But I've never mastered the dovetail at all. I mean, I've watched Donald's videos, and I've tried to follow literally step by step. Donald, I had you on stop go, and I still screwed it up.
It is something that you've got to just be able to sit down and, number one, practice. Your first few box joints, hey, I've been doing it for a little while, and I still got to fill in the gaps with glue and sawdust. So, I mean,
glue and sawdust, fill those gaps. Yep.
On these 2 boxes, tell me which one you think looks better. This side,
the right one.
This side looks better, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the one in your left hand I like better.
Yeah, see, when I was making boxes, these boxes here that open up like a suitcase, like a bookcase here, with the laser, these are the real ones. And I thought, well, why take all that time in doing it? Because I'm super gluing them and selling them. So I just faked it and put it on the box. It's just laser engraved on the box. It's not real. So here's the other one, and I'm thinking, well, why do that? I saved a pile of time by just putting a fake one on.
Now that's funny.
That is.
That-
It is. That,
Funny.
And
it's
it
almost
looks better.
deceitful, man.
Yeah,
Wow.
Yes,
it
it
looks a
is
lot better.
Walmart
deceitful.
product.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
no,
hey,
no,
it's
no,
advertisement.
it's not. I don't mean it is. I'm just,
Yeah.
it's like,
The
wow.
my saying is work smarter,
Fake-
not harder.
Yeah.
Fake laser engraved boxes. Fake laser engraved boxes.
Okay.
Nowhere in your
Okay.
description does it say the joinery is real.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good
Well, you
one.
look at
Good
this
one.
one here, and it's got to burn them ends off, and
Yeah.
it doesn't look half as good as the fake ones that I
Yeah.
burnt.
Yeah.
And I cut the time down by like 20 minutes.
Right. Right. Wow. That's actually
Actually,
smart.
that was I couldn't think of the name of it, so I am actually all right. Where'd my chat go? My chat got hidden. Aussie man just helped me out there. He said the Incra box joint jig is the most versatile jig I've used, and that's the jig I have. Yes, I bought the Incra box joint jig, and that's what made this box was with the Incra. And you're right, Aussie man. It is. I mean, very easy instructions once you set it up. It is easy to use. It's almost like foolproof. I mean, pretty much. I'm sure anybody can screw something up, but it is a good jig. That's the one I decided to go with, and that's the one I bought, and that's the one that I really like. I used it to make several boxes. This is the one that I kept. So
Now, what
But
kind
yeah, I
of
like
blade
that.
do you use with that?
I'm back
Russ?
to Dixon's fake box
Yeah,
joint.
yeah.
That is pretty smart. I
It
have to
is.
admit, that is pretty good. Yeah. And yes, you can use the laser to make. I've made some boxes. I don't have them. I think my wife has confiscated quite a few of them. Oh, there's another one that I forgot, and it was right behind me the whole time. I started out making this as wanting to make it as a pirate's chest, hence the round dome lid. Actually the dome lid was made on my CNC. I found somebody, I can't think of his name right now, showed me how to use the tool path and make an arch and then have it, and it just cut the arch out just as pretty as could be. But yeah, this was made with the Incra also, and I started out making this as a treasure chest. So
That's cool.
for like a pirate's treasure chest, I bought, here's the funny thing about it is I bought the thing to make it look like a pirate's treasure chest. I bought stuff for the ends, and I bought a thing across for the top and everything. You still see it, don't you?
Yep.
This thing is like almost 2 years old. This thing's almost 2 years old. I have yet to put that stuff on it. It's still sitting there without.
Can you solo it? It's kind of hard to see.
Yeah, it's just. I think the funny thing about it is I bought all that stuff. I got it sitting in a box to add it to it, and it's still sitting the way it is. I mean, I got a thing that goes across the top to make it look like a old pirate's chest.
And you still haven't done it.
Yeah, I got the lock for the front. I spent like $50 on stuff to put on this stupid thing to make it look like a
let me
pirate
ask you this: you have unfinished projects?
No, none at all. Not at all.
That needs some long strap hinges over the top.
That could be a show in itself, a whole
Yeah, really.
series, in fact.
Out of making all the dovetails and everything else, the most aggravating part of doing a box with me is putting on the hinges and the hardware.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that
Getting
one,
right.
once again, if you'll look at the way I made this, let me go back real quick for the solo layout. On this particular one, if you'll notice,
I'll be right back.
the lid is actually separate.
Yeah.
So I made the whole box, and then I cut this part off, and then I glued the dome lid to this part here, and made it that way. So it would still line up, and everything would line up really nice. And just glued this that way. If the dome part of it was a little bit bigger, which I think it was, I ended up sanding it some to make it the same size, but I did that the same way as far as how the lid goes on. So, see, I even bought the kind of brass decorative hinges and put them on the outside because it was going to be a pirate's chest.
Yeah.
Hey, you go on Amazon and get them just cheap as you can. The nice, clean, pretty ones at Lowe's and stuff.
Yeah.
The hinges.
Yep.
If you have a laser, that makes when you just put Stager slits, that makes a real nice hinge on this box.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You Stager it, and it looks like a book. Everything was cut out by the laser, and then I just have a locking mechanism right here that slides back and forth.
That's one of the things I've never tried on my laser. I wanted to try to make one. And now, what kind of plywood is that?
This is, you know me, I'm not going to buy nothing. This is from a bath. This was all done looking like this. I didn't have to do any staining. It's from a bathroom door skin. It's from your hollow. It's a hollow door skin.
Right.
My cheap Yankees kicks in. I love that idea. So.
Yeah.
Time to go raid the single one.
The wood grain and everything. Look how nice it looks. You don't have to do anything. Just cut the pieces out on a laser and put it together.
That's what Tim Sway does. He goes around hunting for hollow core doors and uses his.
Oh yeah. I love it. It's a blast.
He goes and collects the hollow core doors that people are throwing away and removes the skin off of them and uses it to make guitars, all kinds of things.
Yep. I do the same thing. I love hunting. I tell guys, I found another load of treasure, and I'll find an old desk sitting outside, and I'll cut it up and use the wood.
Upcycling.
If you can get some use out of it and you're inclined to do it, more power to you. You're saving the landfills and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big fan of free materials. So.
Americans are very, very wasteful, and you wouldn't believe the stuff I have and what it was made from.
Yeah, we're back and doing with my son's doing constructions, and you wouldn't believe the amount of waste that is. I get on to some of these subcontractors about, they'll need a 2-foot piece of 2x4. And rather than, I started telling them, look, if we're buying the materials, you're going to do it the way I want you to do it, or we'll find somebody that'll do it that way. But they'll actually take, all right, so they need a 2-foot piece of 2x4. When I was framing, I would take anything, a fairly good size, and we would throw it into a pile. Now, if it was 6 inches, I would throw it away. But if it was like 16 inches, I would throw it into a pile. So if I was you always are always going to need small pieces later on. So if you needed a 2-foot piece, you go to the pile first. And if there wasn't a 2-foot piece, now you've got to cut a 2-foot piece. But they'll sit there and cut an 8-foot piece of 2x4 for a 2-foot piece. And there's 20 of them laying on the dang ground.
One of my dad's guys once tried to make the argument that it cost me more time going through the shorts pile to find that 2-foot piece than it would be to grab a fresh 2x4 and cut it down.
Well,
if that's what
I
you
agree.
do all day, sure. I can see that being a total an hour wasted through the day.
Yeah.
You're not always looking for a 2-foot piece. So.
Exactly. Well, and the next thing is I can look, and if you've been doing it long enough, if you frame long enough, you can look at that pile and I can tell you if there's a 2-foot piece in there.
Oh yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have 500.
I don't have to dig through to find it. I can look over there and go, yep, that piece right there looks about 2 foot. And I guarantee you, I'll pull out my tape measure and it'll be 26 inches.
Right. but Russ, don't change it because down here in Florida, I'm doing well.
Right. See that's what I do. I go look at those.
Pull up right next to the dumpster and I start pulling all this wood out.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Yep.
And any of us that have ever been
there was an older gentleman that stopped at the job the other day that I was on, and there was a little bit of a problem. I had to go over there and check into it. And the older gentleman pulled up in a pickup truck, and he walked up to the dumpster and he looked in it, and we had just got through decking the house, and there was a lot of nice sized pieces of OSB that was left over. And he'll come up there and ask one of the other guys that was standing there, who's the boss? Who do I need to talk to? And they pointed at me, and he walked over and says, do you mind if I get any of that wood that's in the dumpster? He said, there's a lot of nice pieces of, he called it plywood, but it's not plywood.
Right.
It was OSB. And I said, if it's in the dumpster, you can have it.
Yeah.
It's free game. I said, just don't take anything else laying around other than what's in the dumpster, but you can have it. Man, his face lit up. He goes,
are good, respectful people about it. So
do what?
Most people who are scrounging like that are respectful about that. So.
Yes. Yeah. I wasn't worried about him. Yeah. I wasn't worried about him taking anything else, but
we just had our roof done, and they left on Wednesday, and there was 3 sheets of 3/4 inch plywood left leaning against the dumpster. The dumpster is still freaking here. Wednesday.
I have 580 feet of track that I laid out on around the perimeter and down the middle of my workroom. That's now a train room. I never paid 1 penny for any of it.
There you go.
Yeah.
But those 3 sheets are now split down the middle, and they're in the back of my workshop. And so were the pallets that all the shingles and materials were delivered on. They're all broken down already. So
yep.
I just want to say, came by and said, "Where's the pallets and the plywood?" I said, "What pallets and plywood?"
So Chris, you put a link in the inside chat.
Yes.
It goes out. Is it out on YouTube?
I don't know. It's
Did you want to post it out there or what?
Yeah, I just couldn't get it to work. It's the dovetail jig that I got at one of the woodwork shows once, where at the show I hung out with the guy selling them, and I was banging out dovetails left and right, easy peasy.
Yeah,
this thing was amazing. I got it home. I could never make it freaking work. $100 pissed away right there. So,
yeah.
You were combing your hair with what looked like it.
Well, you mean these? Where are they? Oh yeah. You mean these right here?
Yeah.
Yeah, it looked like a dovetail jig.
They do work good to fluff my throw.
That's an expensive comb.
It's actually
hold on, just wanted to say out there. Oh, what is that? Oh, that's the one from Harbor Freight.
Yeah. It's
okay. Let's see it.
It's heavy.
Enlarge it.
Heavy.
Yeah, that's the one from Harbor Freight, and that's also the same one that Rockler makes.
Hold it up here.
Yeah.
Yep,
yeah, and it's heavy. And I don't know where it came from. I thought it was a Porter cable, but in here, if you have a dovetail bit, you can use a router, right? And it's awesome.
Well, no, you have to have a collet for the router.
Yes, exactly. In fact, my collet kit is a Porter cable. That's what.
That looks like that looks like it's got a lot of dust on it.
It does. I haven't used it in a while. I have not used it in a while. Because
but now the Porter cable, the Harbor Freight, the Rockler, there's like about 4 or 5 of them. What is that you're showing?
Because what I've been doing is using the CNC to cut those. Now, bad thing is you get those dog ears, but but it works great. It's a little drawer at this point anyway. I did some 3/4 inch. I'm sorry, some 1/2 inch ones of these. Perfect.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's why it's all dusty.
Yeah. But the Porter cable, the rock, there's like 4 or 5 of them out there but they're all the same. They're all the same. Trust me, I've seen them. They're all
I'm
the same.
just
Anyway, I was going to
giving
say, Lynn's Handcrafted Wood Signs is out there. The Dutchman's Wood Shack is out there. I noticed him. Aussie Man.
No brand at all.
Yeah.
It's probably the Harbor Freight. There's no brand
Yeah,
name on
probably.
it. But,
Is the
Yeah.
cereal scratched off of it too?
Tell you what,
Oh, you're
it's
leaving
heavy
us?
too.
Yes.
Bye,
Yes.
Paul.
The Dutchman's Wood Shack
Elvis
said,
has
is anyone
left the
getting
building.
this? Yes, we are monitoring Facebook. I see your posts.
Hello. Dutchman's
Uh,
Workshop.
Lynn's Handcrafted Wood Sign says, Al, you should have said routers make dust. Yes, that's the reason it's all dusty.
Yeah.
It's because
There
router
you go.
makes.
That's what I should have said.
Yeah.
And this is
Paul, you
West
leaving?
Texas too,
Or y'all
guys.
do?
Oh, already
West
gone.
Texas is very, very dry and dusty.
Well, move.
Paul
Yes.
Stuck his finger up and left. I mean, waved and left.
Russ Meadows just joined us. How you doing, Russ Meadows?
Oh, Russ.
Russ, get back in here.
So, Donna, have you ever tried making any kind of joints, box joints or whatever on the scroll saw? Yeah,
Yeah,
You're
you.
muted.
She's muted.
You're muted.
Were you sleeping, Donna?
You're
Donna,
muted,
you're
Donna.
Donna.
You're muted. Can't hear you.
She's teaching us sign language.
No, I
Yeah.
don't. I make the little holes in it, and it had the little pieces of wood that just fit right in there.
Yeah.
That's all I'm doing. I don't do the other.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm just saying you can make, if you're very careful and I have made, I tried it a couple of times, and you can make box joints on a scroll saw.
Yeah.
You
I
just
thought
have-
of it, but I thought I might screw it up, so I went with the old way of doing it.
No, you make a pattern and print it just like you do it. And what I always did on mine to make them tight was I always cut to the inside of the line. That way I could take some sand. I had some sanding sticks that I made that were about the same size and put sand. It was a board with, I just glued sandpaper to it, and I could always go in there and sand them just a little bit to make them. Yeah. Just if they were a little too tight, but yes. But you can make box joints without any problem. You can actually make dovetails on a scroll saw. The dovetails are a little harder because you do have to do a lot more sanding on those if you mess them up.
I've made chess pieces on the scroll saw.
Yeah, 3D
That's
chess
what-
pieces. Yeah.
That's one project
a-
I haven't tried yet.
Here's a
What's
fancy
that?
box. Here's a fancy box that I made years ago, and look what it says, and then I'll show you what it does. I had to bring this down to work because people just don't learn. It says, "Machine is running good. Don't touch." So this is what happens when you
That's one of
when
those
you touch
useless
the
boxes,
switch.
ain't it?
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
The useless box.
Yeah. I've always wanted, I've said it and I've said it and I've said it again. I've always wanted to make one of those. Steve Good actually made one time. And I've seen them since then, but I've always said I wanted to make one and I just never have gotten around to it.
Yeah. So don't touch
Yeah,
this button,
I'll
so-
put the URL out there that Chris was talking about.
Okay.
Have any of you ever made box joints on a CNC? So you
Nope.
rotate the stock so the end's pointing straight up, and then have the CNC come over the top of it and cut the joints out.
I have never done that personally, but I have seen it done. I watched YouTube videos of people doing it. Yeah.
Yeah, I did that once. It was pretty easy, actually. You just clamp the stock to the face of the
Yeah.
CNC, so it's sticking up, and then because the router is going to go off the end of the
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
CNC
The board.
just because of the way it's built. So
Yeah.
I thought that was kind of cool.
It is.
I think that's actually the only box joint box I ever made without intense light.
Is that Spider-Man?
It's Spider-Man.
Spider elf.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's a Spider-Man outfit for the elf on the shelf.
And you gotta have the boots.
Oh my goodness.
That's funny. That's funny. Oh, that's cute too. I still got to get those shirts to you. I ain't even had a chance. I got 3 shirts. Hi.
Okay, go away.
I got 3 shirts to send her that I want her to get embroidered, and I have just been so busy. It's unbelievable.
I believe it.
I
We
know
did a
the
big
feeling.
we did a big project. I don't think I told you guys about it, but I worked on a building that was built in 1918,
Ooh.
and we actually put an elevator shaft in it. We didn't do it. We did the framing work and everything for the elevator shaft. We went in and cut the floor out and cut the roof out, and then they built the elevator shaft through the 2-story building.
Was it a concrete floor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had come in and poured concrete. In the original, it wasn't, but they had come in and poured concrete. It had a concrete floor. When they dug down, though, the elevator shaft was they cut the floor out and dug in there because the elevator shaft has to go down into the ground, in other words.
Right.
They were having problems because it was actually sand they had put in there years ago. And as fast as they were trying to dig the sand out, it was coming in the hole from underneath the rest of the floor.
Yep.
Yeah. So they had to come to a screeching halt with that because it wasn't going to work. So then they had to fill the hole back up. It had to be compacted to make sure it was all sit in there and really firm. Then they had to. You ever seen those machines that drive those panels into the ground? They vibrate them and the panels go down into the ground.
Yep.
Well, they actually had to basically do that same thing, come in and put panels in the floor to hold the sand in, and then come in and dig out the sand so that it wouldn't cave in and damage the floor. So it was kind of a unique experience.
I was 30 years old in a paper mill changing out a big motor in the basement, and they had this section all roped off because they were cutting a slab of a floor out. The crap was like 12 inches thick, and it was the size of my house. And they got it all roped off, and the water's pouring down because they got these big wet saws, and they're cutting away, and they're supposed to blow a horn when it's going to drop. Well, they didn't blow the horn, and I didn't know they were near the end, and I was on the other side changing out this big 30-horsepower motor, and all of a sudden, boom, it came down, and it hit the bottom floor, and it scared the crap out of me. That was crazy.
That would definitely, I definitely need to check my shorts on that one.
Yeah, definitely.
The Dutchman's Woodshop. Hi to everyone.
Hello, hello. Live long and prosper, everyone.
Yeah. But so we'll start off with me. My favorite joint is box joint. Al, do you have a favorite?
Probably the CNC joint, even with the dog bones.
Even with the dog bone? I've always wanted to try that dog bone one. That was pretty cool. Actually, Chris should have got that in his kit that he spent that money for that.
Oh yeah, that thing is still sitting in a storage tub. I'll try it again.
Jim,
someday.
what's your favorite joint? And I don't
think it
mean
depends
joint
on.
either. I meant.
You beat me
I
to
think it
it.
depends on what you're making. I mean, if it's a box or something like that, definitely a box joint. But if you're trying to hold a picture frame together or something like that, probably a spline that's a different color than the other wood is. Yeah.
Okay, Donald, I already kind of figure what you're going to say, but
Dovetail. I like my tail. I like doing
I
tail.
bet you do, man.
We like your tail too, Donald.
Donna, do you have a favorite joint other than the kind you smoke?
I can't even do that because that gives me a migraine because I tried it one time. So
It's Maui, man.
Third time's a charm.
no, I heard that something in it that some people it actually gives them migraines,
Yeah.
and I just happen to be one of them.
You know, I have to admit, I've never done drugs. We worked for the fire department for 30 years. So,
Right.
you know, we got drug tested. So I didn't want to lose my job. So I never tried them. And then when I retired, I always said, and you're going to laugh at this, but I always said, I always wanted to try to smoke a joint because I always heard, you know, but I'm 65 years old and still haven't. So,
You're not missing anything.
I was going to say at this point, I don't think I'm missing anything. So
Now you have to take one so you get rid of your aches and pains.
Yeah.
yeah,
I've never done drugs either. Though back in the day, there have been a few that done the heck out of me.
Chris, do you have a favorite joinery?
Like everybody else, the box joint is the simplest and fastest way to go. But I do like my Craig jigs. So I kind of fall back to Craig a lot.
For the pocket holes. For the pocket
Pocket
holes,
hole
right?
jig, yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I like pocket holes.
So
Yeah.
if I ever get a project done fast, I'm going to fall back to the Craig pocket hole.
I guess
Oh,
I
yeah.
need to figure out how to do that.
And if you put some tight bond in there and put those pocket holes in there, it ain't going nowhere.
Nope. I made it with pine and had someone step on the corner, and it did not break.
Yeah.
Even in pine, so it
Yeah.
held. So between tight bond and
I
red
told
steel-
y'all how I did that big piece for the bed. The queen size bed was so big that there was no way I was going to do it with one sheet of plywood. So I was going to have to end up joining it. So I decided to cut the two pieces the same size and join it in the middle so it look, and I could put something decorative down the seam, so to speak.
Yeah.
And so now you're looking at, I've got to go buy pipe to extend my pipe clamps to make them, you know, so big so I can squeeze that thing together. So I sit there and I said, you know what? I'm going to try this and see if it works. So what I did was I did pocket holes every 6 inches, but I do them on opposite sides of each other, all the way down the plywood. And then I put a piece of plastic down. So, because I made it on the trailer floor because the trailer was big enough I could set it right there and just make it on the trailer floor. So then I put plastic down so the glue wouldn't, and I put the tight bond in there, and I put the screws in there and pulled that sucker together, and I left it for 24 hours, came back out. I could grab one corner and pick it up, and it held
Wow.
perfect.
Wow. And I'll say this for Paul, and not a single picture did he take. Okay.
Nope.
Oh, wait,
Nope.
wait. Not a
yes,
single picture did he take.
No, I didn't. I didn't. I can take pictures. I can show you the pictures of afterwards. Yeah, I can show you the pictures of afterwards.
I wanted to see
But
pictures of videos.
I was actually shocked that it worked that good as on plywood as a butt joint. I was really impressed. You know,
So
that it.
So it was the plywood this way, and then pocket hole this way, pocket hole this way.
Yes.
Pocket hole this way.
No. The
No?
pocket holes were all on the back side, so you couldn't see them.
Oh, and you went like this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
gotcha.
but I just staggered them every 6 inches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How thick was the wood? Half
3/4 inch plywood.
3/4 inch?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, and you set the jig for 3/4 inch, and it puts it through the center of it into the other one. Yeah, it worked great. I mean, I was almost amazed at how good that it worked.
Yeah, I've done a lot of
you know.
stuff with the pocket hole.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's
I
know,
keep hearing you
Dixon,
guys say it.
What's your favorite?
the quickest one is glue and drywall screws. I just love it. That pocket
This
jig,
is his glue right here.
yeah,
Right?
that Craig's jig is really. I 3D printed one of them instead of buying the whole setup for $100. I 3D printed one, and I gotta say, them things are. I don't even buy the screws. I just use it for drilling the holes, and then a drywall screw and glue, and that thing is strong. They're strong.
Okay, so Aussie
Well,
Man says his favorite joint is a miter joint with the dovetail spline pins. Okay.
I do the pocket screws the way my daddy did it. I turned the drill at an angle.
Yeah.
Dutchman's Wood Shack says he likes mortise and tenon.
Yep.
Chris Pine says hello everyone. It's been a long time.
Doesn't like a good rabbit joint either. Any others? Let's see.
So yeah,
What's in the wrong window? The hell?
I like Dixon's idea though. Whatever the quickest is with drywall screws and glue.
I made one a long time ago. I don't have it, so I can't show it off. I wish I had it. I made a joint where I took an old puzzle. You know how you put them puzzles together? It was like an old Metallica puzzle, and I took a strip of it and I put one on one side of the board and one on the other, and I traced it out. And then when you cut the puzzle pieces, you know, they slide right together when you get done cutting the wood out. But
Yeah.
it's just something to do. It's not going to make it any stronger. It's just something like fancy.
Yeah.
But it's just like putting a puzzle together. Then when you
Until
take the two pieces,
the glue dries.
yeah. You just
Yeah, the
Just
Dutchman's Wood Shack said he butchered his middle finger on the table saw Friday by being sick.
Yeah, I was just responding to that.
ugh.
I like
Yeah.
I like using dowels too to put joints together, even if they're like that. And
Yep.
the glue dries.
just-
That's
I
really
Yeah.
told
all
the
they're for.
Dutchman he has to come on the show and tell the story.
If you use that trick, you don't need nothing but two nails, you know, and you cut the heads off. If you do that trick where you tap the nail in on
Yeah.
either side and then you nip the head off, and you take your board and put it on top and tap it. Now you got your marks for your holes.
Yep.
And you drill
Do
it,
that
and
all
the
the time.
dowels go right together perfect.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
I actually have a jig that's a Harbor Freight. It screws out and stuff, but seriously, it's messed up, very messed up. But yeah, that does it. That definitely does it.
Trying to think what other jigs I've got. Can't think
I
of
saw a
it.
guy cut a piece of wood and fit it and stuff, and then put two holes in it. You know, pretty much the same thing, but it still wasn't perfect. It was kind of, you know, a little bit off. You know, just
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
I bet you could definitely.
we're
print
all
something.
a little bit off.
And maybe tap like some copper tubing or something, or a bushing. I guess copper tubing because you can cut it and stuff. But tap, you can also do that probably. If it's tight enough, it won't come back out. And especially if you glue it, that would be one way to 3D print the jig itself.
Sure.
Oh, 3D.
Yeah, speaking of joinery, I want to go back to one thing that I learned whenever I was we had the Tight Bond guy from Tight Bond come down to our woodworking club and talk about Tight Bond. And one of the things that I learned that I did not know after doing it all these years is that when you do a biscuit for joinery, right? Like, so you're going to make, I did not know that the biscuits were for alignment only. They're not supposed to glue them in.
Right.
You know, it's like my whole life's been a lie.
I didn't know you wouldn't put glue on them, but that's all I do.
Yeah. But he said because some of the biscuits are made out of how do you want to put it? A very absorbent or a very soft.
Balsa wood. Balsa wood.
Balsa.
Made out of
Yeah,
balsa
wood.
wood. That's why.
Well, some of them,
They
but
do
some of them are. You
expand.
can buy hardwood biscuits. They come in different, but the average biscuit you buy, like if you just go buy a container of biscuits, like
They're
Rockler
fluffy,
or
yeah.
whatever, they can be balsa wood. But anyway, his point being is that actually because Tight Bond is a water-based glue, so to speak, will actually cause the biscuit to swell, and it will actually, you can see it in you can see the humps in your joint that you put together.
And if
Yeah,
you use
you
the
know, I
hard
never
to
knew.
make biscuits, they're not going to expand. So your joint
Yeah.
will be as tight.
Right. But
That's why I like
but
using
he said
dowels.
he said you're not supposed to put glue on any biscuit.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes,
Well, because
the
they do.
biscuits are
slowly
just
push-
for aligning the
they
two
push out.
pieces together. That's all it's for. You're supposed to use the glue on the joint.
I don't know. Norm Abrams is going to have a few words about that because
I know.
Yeah.
He's who
I
go
have
on that one.
glued every biscuit in that I have ever used in my entire life, and
Me too.
Same as
so
me.
and I've never heard that until he said that you're not supposed to glue the biscuits in. And I did some research, and if you will go to some of these places, you can read that they say, yeah, you're not supposed to glue the biscuits.
So they've been lying all these years to us.
Yep.
Yep.
Santa
Yep.
Claus
I
isn't
did
real.
not know that.
Oh my
And it
God.
wasn't like I said.
How, if you're not going to put glue in there, how do you get it to expand and hold tight?
No. You use the glue on the joint. You don't use the glue on the biscuits. The biscuits are to align it.
No, I understand the alignment part, but I thought that was part of the system.
Well, hey, you're preaching to the choir. I thought the same thing too, and I didn't understand it.
Yeah,
But
it's
we gotta
just
get
like
that
a
guy
valve.
on here and give him the 3rd degree.
My question is, perhaps
Yeah,
maybe if you're using the biscuit on wood that's soft enough or thin enough to show its expansion, maybe these are two pieces that shouldn't be joined together.
What is that? Yeah, I was thinking that too.
yeah.
If your wood is that
Chris
thin,
Pine
you're
said-
going to see the ripples.
Chris Pine says that he never really liked biscuit joinery when Norm back in the day was the first time he ever saw it used. He likes to edge the boards together without, and it works fine. Well, like I said, once again with the new glue, like Type Bond, for instance, I've experimented with it. The wood most of the time will break before the joint breaks.
Yep.
So
The only thing
Especially
I
if you
ever
clamp
used anything like that for, like you said, would be to align it. Like on
Yeah.
the tabletop, I did. It was so long that I couldn't maneuver
Yeah.
it just by hand and get
Well, I
it
mean,
right.
basically, if you look at this, look at a biscuit and look at dowels, wooden dowels. Dowels are the same thing. They're for basically
That's what my grandfather
alignment
used to
too.
do.
Yeah, until the glue dries, exactly. Until
My
the glue
grandfather
Exactly.
dries.
used dowels and not biscuits, but the same way though. So,
Yeah,
um,
I mean, but dowels are this. You get the dowel pin. You put them in. You do the same thing. You put them in there, and I've always glued dowel pins.
yeah. But if you think of it,
Yeah.
makes sense because if you think about the biscuit cutter, it's got that little notch that you line up with your pencil mark across the two boards. And that's exactly where your biscuit has to go. It's the center of the biscuit.
Mhm.
Right.
And yeah, so it's really based, I guess he's right, it's really based more on alignment than it is holding power. So
James
Yeah, 'cause
Parker
it'll-
said,
it'll
"Good night,
keep it-
everybody.
It'll keep it from going
Have
side
a
to
good
side.
Sunday."
right.
And then-
What does
and then
Parker
you'll-
say?
Well, yeah,
align
it's
the two
it's
lines.
supposed to help align. It was back in the day. It was supposed to help alignment because of they didn't have big clamps
Right.
too. But I do know that I seen in a cabinet shop they didn't even use clamps. They had a clamping table, but it was
Yeah.
designed so that they would use wooden triangle like shims. They would put the pieces together and then drive that shim in there to pull them together, and that's what they used. But it was no what we would call clamps like we use nowadays, like C clamps or
They had holes in the table, and then they had cams. That's how
yes,
they tightened
and
up
cams.
Right, right.
It's just like
Yes,
you
some
got
of
a
them were
cam on your
cams. The ones I've
crankshaft.
seen,
With
they
the-
just used blocks of wood and
Wedge. Yep.
wedges. That's all that was.
Wedges,
It was
yep.
blocks and wedges, and that's how they assembled it.
So doing the same thing over and over, yeah. So
Yeah.
closest I ever came is using my table saw to hold a joint together while the glue dried. Put the blade all the way up and jam something between the fence and the blade.
Yeah.
I was all
Good
out of
old
clamps. I
Yankee
needed
ingenuity.
I needed one more spot for holding power, and that's all I had left. All my clamps were in service at the moment. So it worked.
They also,
With it.
when they joined the wood, they also on the back side of the wood, they used those, and I had never seen them before either until I saw them in a cabinet shop. They use those staples that are like, you can get staples 3/4, 1 inch, 2 inches wide. And they had the pneumatic guns that would shoot them. So once they joined it on the back side, they'd come in and glued it. They would come in and shoot those staples in it.
Yeah.
And then
So,
they could.
so here's a couple of comments that are out there.
Picture frames. They still do it with picture frames.
Yep.
Staples.
Brian mentions that biscuits are crushed so they swell with moisture from the glue. The extra pressure helps to align. They should be glued, but the joint doesn't really need it. Yep.
Yeah.
So you just wet the
Well,
biscuits and
I don't disagree with you, but I'll give you this guy's name and you call him and talk to him.
Well,
and tell you that-
That's why they're made out of balsa wood, so they swallow.
Yeah. Well, I've seen them made out of balsa wood, yes, and they weren't worth a flip because they broke easy too.
Len's Handcrafted says that he grew up making furniture in Garden, Mass. I guess that's Mass. MA. Guys. Back in the day, Gardner was the furniture capital of the world, and we always glued our dowels. Yeah, I'm for gluing dowels. I pour the glue down the hole, and then it squirts all out, and then I get some type of vapor lock. And anyway,
I know exactly where he was working. That whole town their whole economy was based on making furniture.
Yeah.
Wow.
Dowels or biscuits. I like dowels more. I for a long time. I didn't use biscuits until the last probably.
Hey.
I don't know. I went to build a cabinet for somebody one time, and I saw the biscuits being used, and I decided to buy me a biscuit cutter and use them in that cabinet. And they worked. I mean, I didn't have any problem with them. They worked all right. But like I said, I always glued them.
I learned a neat little trick. A couple of days ago? I don't know. I ran out of dowels, and I looked up because I wanted to get another dowel jig or find out what the prices were, and I ran across this video. If you cut dowels, like say 1/4 by 1/4, then take a piece of metal and drill a hole in it. Or first, you drill a hole in the metal, a 1/4 inch hole, clamp it down, and then take and cut strips of wood, 1/4 inch by 1/4 inch. Stick it in your drill, push it in there.
Yep.
Yeah, it will cut through it.
It'll make them into
It makes
dowels.
dowels.
Voila.
Yeah.
Yes, it will.
It kept
But
me from
actually,
running-
the thin wood, like 1/8 inch or even 3/16 works better than thicker wood.
Well, I did it with 1/4, and I was wondering if I could go thicker, kind of like mortise. I don't know if that would be a mortise. When does
the
dowel?
reason I say thinner because the reason I say thinner is because think about it. The two sides of the metal are closer together, and both of those sides are what's sharper, what's cutting it. When you're using a thicker piece, you're actually having a longer distance to go with the dowel through to get to the other side to cut it. I'm just telling you that usually the thinner wood works a little bit better. But
I'm gonna have to try it on multiple sizes, just what it's like.
See which wood works. Yeah, that's a good idea.
But if you haven't done it, try it. It's really cool.
Somebody said somebody said it was made. Dowels are made from beech. Actually, and nowadays, Jim, you can find dowels made out of several different types of materials. I looked them up. You can get dowels made from hardwood. Now, I don't know back in the day exactly what they were made out of, but I do know that I have seen hardwood dowels like oak.
Yeah,
and,
I got.
I mean, not dowels. I'm talking about biscuits. I'm sorry,
biscuits.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, hardwood biscuits. So
the dowels, they oversize them, but they got them grooves in there. So when you pound them in, they stick.
Right.
They got grooves.
But yeah, I've seen them made out of hardwood also. Go on, just type in hardwood biscuit. Here, let me do it real quick before we get off.
You might get a Betty
hardwood
Crocker
biscuits
for
and
you
then
or
ask
something
me
like
what
that.
kind of gravy I wanted.
Yeah, exactly.
Go with sausage,
Exactly.
man. Can't lose.
Who did we just
Sausage
lose?
made with buttermilk.
Donna, she said, gotta run, call, and check in, brother.
Oh, yeah, I see it in the inside chat
Check
now.
on, brother. Okay.
Hardwood biscuits.
Oh, I'm hungry, guys. All this biscuit talk.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you, of all the tools I've bought over the years, the biggest waste of money was my biscuit joiner.
Okay.
I think I've used it 3 times in 15 years.
I
And
haven't
didn't
I
even
haven't
need
had a need for it either. I mean, seriously,
Yeah.
but then again,
Oh, you're
that-
never going to believe. You're
Two
never going to
tables.
believe what popped up with hardwood biscuits.
was it adult friendly? I mean,
Denny's Grand
family
Slam
friendly?
breakfast.
Buttermilk.
I gotta show you this because I was.
Oh, boy.
No
Of course
way.
it is. Intriguing minds want to know.
Got to be a biscuit recipe.
It's got to be Denny's.
This is the screen I want to share. So I'd say
We're not going to
share.
get banned off of YouTube, are we?
Hold
Oh,
on, I got to get this over here.
Biscuit set. Is that what it said?
I've been looking at them, and it
it
looks like
looked
they're
kind of funny. It was
expensive.
kind of long and
Too expensive.
yeah. That is Harbor Freight, huh? Yes, it is.
Harbor
It is.
Freight.
$7 basically for how many?
125.
Yeah.
So-
for more
so there
than
you
you'll
go.
ever use.
There you go.
If you're using that many, that's not a bad price.
Now it doesn't say what hardwood they are made of. It says made of straight grain hardwood. Expands. Hold on. It says right on this. Expands when used with water-based glue.
Ooh.
It can't be a hardwood then.
Well, yeah.
Ideal
Yeah.
for small size furniture, cabinets, trim, and special woodworking.
Doesn't say anything about only needed until glue dries or anything.
Well, let's go down here and see. Straight hard grass complain. It doesn't say actually what they're made of, like what hardwood, for instance.
100% satisfaction guaranteed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If for any reason.
Guaranteed.
They just
Anyway,
didn't
I thought
taste
you,
them.
I would pop. I thought y'all would find that at the first place that popped up was Harbor Freight for hardwood biscuits. Anyway, I do know that they have. I've seen them myself that are made out of like oak and so
Len says that's a good price, by the way.
yeah.
I got a feeling that with enough, even hardwood with enough pressure,
Yeah.
and
Austin
whatever
says
you can suck the moisture right on out of it, and then
Well, like I said, his thing was that if you certain biscuits or when you put glue on the biscuit, because it's water-based glue, it absorbs into the biscuit and causes the biscuit to swell to the point that you can see dimples in your joinery because the biscuits have swollen so much.
well, it seems to me like you just be using the wrong kind of wood.
Well, that's
To
I
put
mean,
together.
yeah. And that's the first time that I have ever in my entire life heard not, because you're right. Go back and watch some of the old Norm Abrams, and I guarantee you he glued every one of those biscuits in.
Yeah. Well, the bottle just said to do it, but still, it's different people have different techniques. If it works, it works. If not gluing them works for you, and that's the way you do it, that's fantastic.
Yes, and that is correct, Jim.
Yeah.
Jim Dockrell said a dowel is what they would call loose tenon joinery.
Okay, so it is then, right?
Yeah,
So
it's like a
loose
tenon. Yeah.
joinery, yeah. Because I wondered if it was a specific size that it became a tenon, but doesn't a tenon add strength is really where I'm going with this, because when you
Now in the case of a wooden dowel, yes, it does add strength to the joint. Yes.
I know I have used them 3/4 inch by 3/4 inch like this. Okay, just butt it up, and then I'll drill a hole this way and take a dowel and cram it in there, basically also gluing it, and it takes that joint and it keeps it from bending this way.
Right, from bending.
That box that I made it that way. Only thing, it has a connection here also. So not only does it have one going in there, but it has one going this way. And of course the glue. And then you slap 1/2 inch on the outside and 3/4 inch frame isn't going anywhere. Unless you drop, I guess. But dowels keeping it together. So like loose tenon joinery. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, Dutchman Wood Shack signed off, but he brought up something that I was going to say. Next week is the 17th. So we will have a show on the good Lord willing and the creek don't rise. I plan on having a show on the 17th. That's going to be our Christmas special.
Woohoo!
I will get with a few of you. I was wanting to do a few $25 gift things. Did Donna sign off?
Yeah, she
Go take care of your brother.
Yep.
Huh?
Should have
Gotta
take care of your
run.
brother.
call
Okay.
and check her brother, I guess.
Oh, okay. I didn't see it's on the inside chat now. I see it.
Yeah.
I had something popped up on my screen and was covering it up. I didn't see it. But anyway, yes. So if anybody wants to join me, I want to do give some $25 PayPal things away. So I know, Chris, sometimes you do. I'm not going to put you in that position. I'm just saying, but
there was something
but anybody
in the group chat about that, wasn't there?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think there was a couple of
it.
yeah.
Will we have a special guest from someplace up north?
We might.
All right, cool.
So, but yes, for definitely sure.
Yeah, add me into that, Russ, because did you take
Okay.
down those names? Did you
Yeah,
check
we'll
those
do it on the
names?
17th. What we're gonna do is we're gonna do everybody that wants to join will have to send send me an email. We'll go ahead and discuss it before we get to the 17th. How I figure we do it. If you have a PayPal, well, I was going to put it on, put it out there in Facebook, but we might as well talk about it here. You have to have a PayPal account. That's the only way we're going to do it. So if you have a PayPal account and want to get into the contest, you have to send me an email to contest@simplywoodencreations.com. Where's my thing? I don't have it, but I'll put it out on Facebook. Oh,
Contest at simplywoodencreations.com.
Yep. Here, let me show you this so
Contest
that y'all
at simplywoodencreations.com. There it is, folks.
Yes. Contest at simplywoodencreations.com. All right. So if you want to enter for the Christmas giveaway, we'll be doing some PayPal giveaways, and but you have to have a PayPal account. And the way to enter is send me an email saying, yes, I have a PayPal account with your name, and please put your name in the email, because some people's my name is Jose Menez, but it's not your real name for your email account. So yeah. Put your real name in there, like Dixon would put Dixon Hoffman. Very plain and simple. I'm Dixon Hoffman. I would like to enter the Christmas giveaway.
Yes, but that's his witness protection program name. So.
Is the panel eligible?
Mm-hmm.
Is the panel eligible?
A new car.
Yeah.
No, the panel can't be eligible because the panel is giving the stuff away.
That's right. We won. We won.
Why would Jason be entering anyway?
Yeah.
So Donald, if you want to win, don't be on the show that night. Watch the show.
There you go,
Brian.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Brian Woodward said, if you're gluing multiple panels every day, biscuits save a lot of time. They're not really worth it to hobbyists.
Yeah.
Okay. It's pretty good. Thanks for the information, Brian.
I can agree. That's probably the most expensive tool that never gets used. So.
But anyway, so yes, so send an email to contests, giving me your name and you want to enter. I'll go straight in there after I get off the show and clear out make sure there's no emails in there. Well, I can tell on the date whenever you send it, but you'll have all week to send it. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to compile. I'll either do the hat draw or I'll assign every name a number, and it'll just do a random like we did last time. I like that little number thing, how it pulled the number up.
The randomizer, that was good. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll do it that way and give away some things. And then it'll be Christmas. We'll talk about some woodworking also, but it'll be the Christmas show. And then, yes, there will not be a show on the 24th, which is Christmas Eve, and there may not be a show on the 31st. It might be after the first of the year, the 7th, before we have a show.
Well,
I haven't decided on you.
If you do
I mean,
one
usually
New Year's Eve, I'm not here. So
well, that's what I'm saying. Like Chris probably won't be there. I used to party, but I don't. Me and my wife just sit at home and watch TV.
Yeah, us too.
Yeah.
trust
Yeah,
me, it's
my
really
partying-
nothing big. We're just going to a hotel event, and
Yeah, my partying days are over. So
I'll most likely
yeah.
be-
So
be
but so
somewhere in
I'll
that
talk to her. I'm not sure if we'll do a show on the 31st. That's in the iffies. Definitely no show on the 24th. I can tell you that right now. And the 31st will be iffies, an iffy. So actually, I'll talk to her, and next week I'll let y'all know about the 31st.
cool.
So tentatively, the next show would be the 7th of January. So after that, and I will be posting that out on Facebook. What is the contest? The contest is Aussie Man. If you weren't
You
listening,
have to write an essay on who your favorite board member is.
it's a Christmas giveaway. So it basically is not a contest, it's a giveaway. But you're going to have to send the email to contest at Simply Wooden Creation saying you want to enter the giveaway. Okay. And if you say you want to enter, you must have a PayPal account. Must have. We're not giving, we're not doing Visa gift cards for number one. It costs me, if I buy a $25 gift card, a Visa gift card, it costs me like $3 to buy the gift card. So now I'm in $28. Okay. Then if I send it to Australia, I'm going to have to pay another $50 to get it to you.
But he's willing to pay for it. He's willing to pay for it.
So we're only giving away PayPal money. In other words, whoever wins, if I will transfer $25 into your PayPal account if you're the winner.
There's a question I have to ask.
Let me tell you, PayPal is number one. It's free to sign up. It doesn't cost you anything. You can use it. There are a lot of places. I mean, a lot of places that are using PayPal now.
He has a PayPal account.
Okay.
But he's asking, can you send Bitcoin? No, I'm just kidding.
No. But yeah, there's a lot of places that use. Matter of fact, I pay a lot of stuff. It's quicker than me entering my credit card number. You know, I go click. It says you can pay with PayPal. I go click. It goes to PayPal. Yeah. PayPal tells me this is what they're wanting. Do you want to approve it? I say yes. It sends me back to the site and said your stuff's paid for, and bada bing, bada bang, bada boom.
Yeah, I love the built-in protections too.
Yes. So, but yeah. Yes, I would pay shipping to me, but yeah. So in other words, you're willing to spend $50 in shipping for a $25 gift card.
Right. That's what that.
He's that kind of guy. He's that kind of guy.
It works.
Everything.
PayPal works really well. I use PayPal a lot.
I use it all the time. I can pay two ways. I have a PayPal credit where I can just charge things to PayPal and then pay it off at the end of the month, or I can have it drawn straight out of my bank account to pay for it through PayPal.
Yep.
So,
hey, Russ, Len's got the right idea. He says Santa Russ might be sending Bill some coal.
So anyway,
it's cold winter. You want that?
But
coal.
I will post about the Christmas thing. If I got time, I'll post it tomorrow. But about next week's Christmas party, and that's it. We're going to sign off. We're already 20 minutes past 9. Wow.
One quick last question, Russ.
What?
With energy prices as they are, how can you afford? How can Santa Claus afford to give out coal? I mean, geez, it's
really, it's expensive. It's almost as expensive as gold.
You obviously haven't seen the meme I posted on my Facebook page.
It's cheaper.
All right, so that's it. We're out of here. It's 20 past. Don't sign off, everybody. I got to tell y'all guys a quick story behind the scenes. So I'll just tell it out here real quick.
Oh
Everybody
man,
knows,
I thought we were going to be like, oh, we
no,
got a
I just
story.
want to say, well, it's been posted, and they have a donation place. I think I will share the donation place on my Facebook account if anybody wants to donate. I was contacted the other day because I play the role of Santa Claus, as if y'all didn't know that,
Really?
by a chaplain through Tampa General Hospital. There is an 8-year-old girl. Her name's Mackenzie. She has a specific type of cancer, and it's gotten to the point that they can't do anything for her anymore. And they are transferring her home, and they don't even know that she will make it to Christmas. You can give donations to the family. The reason I was contacted is because of the fact they don't know that she'll make it till Christmas. They were looking for a Santa Claus. So I said, hell yeah, I'll do it. So I'm supposed to be doing it there. We're working through another group that is trying to get people. We're trying to get 30 or 40 people to put signs on it. We love you, Mackenzie, or hi, Mackenzie, or Merry Christmas, Mackenzie, or whatever, to hold up outside too, along with me being there as Santa Claus, to say hi to her. So I will be posting that because there is a place that you can make donations to the family. The family is definitely incurred a lot of expenses. I don't know that I would want to be in that position. So
Yeah, it's tough.
yeah. But yeah, so I'm going to be doing that. We're trying to get it done next week. I've partnered up with another person that has some influential power in the community, and they're getting a hold of a bunch of trying to get as many people as they can get to show up. And I think last I heard we were shooting for this Wednesday, the 14th, to go to do it. And so that's what I'm doing. But I will post out there in my Facebook page if anybody wants to donate to the family. So, but that was it. I was going to tell it behind the scenes, but it's public because they put it out there public for the donations, so I can say it. If it wasn't public, I wouldn't be saying it.
Yeah, put it on a show link so everyone can get it.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I think that might be part of the thing that they're going to get the group of people to sing carols. Lynn's Handcrafted Woodshop said get a church to sing carols. I think that's some of the stuff they're going to do is wanting people to sing carols also. So, but yeah, yep. So, but anyway, I just want to throw that out there. I was going to say it behind the scenes. Like, I didn't want to go that public with it, but then I got to thinking, well, heck, if I'm going to put the site for the donations on Facebook, that's just as much public as me saying it on here. So.
Do you have it to where we could put it out here right now too?
No, I don't have it right now. They sent it to me in a text, so I've got to transfer it over to computer. It was sent on all the information I have was sent to me on a text on the phone. So,
Okay.
So, but I will be posting it. All right, guys, we're out of here. It's we've gone 25 minutes past. My wife's going to be kicking my butt when I get in there.
Hey, we used to stay out much later.
Yeah. All right. So listen, if you're too darn busy to get out in your shop and make some sawdust, you are definitely getting coal in your stocking this year. Okay. Just remember that. So get out in your shop and make some sawdust. Just give me sawdust. Lots of sawdust all around me and everywhere. I like it flying all around my shop and even in my beard and hair. Good night, everybody. Thank you for watching, and God bless.
Good night, boys and girls. Remember, you don't have to go home.
Live long and work.
Nope, you can't stay here. You got to get out. You got to go. See you.
Finish up the drinks.